about to see in this video is something that will change the lives of many. I had a near-death experience back in the 80s, and I came back with more than I left with. I could see a way to save humanity after my interaction with this light, a light energy at the center of the universe or above our galaxy. But what it showed me changes everything. There are three basic future timelines then. The one that I saw written in Revelation, which ends with wormwood, and sadly we are not a part of it. There's the 1,000 years of golden era, but there are our ancestors returning and recolonizing. Why is it that we are left out of that? So that's not good enough in my opinion. The other one is everything is lost. Both the planet, the people, and even the potential for the visitors to recolonize again. That's also lost. That everything is lost. There is the timeline where all three can be winners. The 1%, the 99%, and the visitors. All of us. If we can just follow what I'm trying to show here. I had a motorcycle accident in 1982. But the strangest thing is, while I lost consciousness, I felt I was outside of my body, looking down at myself, connected with a silver cord. I went down the tunnel of light to the place that you see here. It's probably positioned above our axis of our galaxy. This is, in my opinion, the tree of life, a living, conscious energy that our souls are made of. We are a small piece of this conscious energy, and this place has been built around it to protect it. It has this living plasma color energy coming out of the top of what looks like a mountain with a waterfall. You can see a rainbow effect with the plasma interacting with the gas. It looks like a man in a throne with a glowing horned crown. But it's this little area here we're going to look at, where I learned about the star maps, positioned, correlating with the Pleiades. Look very closely now as we zoom in. A plasma ribbon has come off the cosmic tree, and I believe there's a good chance it was me down there interacting with it, asking to give our world a chance. There's something terrible, terrible coming, and we need to find a way around it. I had this experience merging with this cosmic tree with the pillar of light. We're going to look at that in this documentary, and how all four of the biggest religions all share the star map secret, and we will analyze good versus evil. We need to understand it. You can come and press pause at these positions and see more, but I will cover it again just now. But these four warring religions are tied with the cosmic dragon, the cosmic energy that binds it. I'll show you how that happens. But this is the part I'm trying to avoid: human enslavement, where we become a product belonging to the 1%. We are going to be treated as a commodity. We've got to avoid this. And I find myself falling back in a deep, dark place. I return to my body. This is all about understanding this tree of life. I wasn't sure about the star map part. Then this mural made it a lot clearer to me that there is that star map at the place of creation. Look closely at the bottom. The mountains, 7 mountains. But it's repeated twice. There's also an area with 7 pyramids. The Inca knew about the tree of life. They show the serpent around it. They show angels interacting. This is the house of God, and they enter in from below. The Maya, exactly the same. Underworld dragon mouth entry. And this tree of life with the serpent. The Norse mythology, that's where you see all the detail. The door at the bottom, the rainbow bridge, the mountain with the rivers coming down from it. And good and evil wanting to manipulate it. It is important that the good powers that be of this place stay in control. Book of Enoch showed it. The seat of throne of God burns like fire day and night. Same place. St. John, the book of Revelation that we're studying in this video, the water of life shone like crystal flowing down from the mountain. He saw it as well. The Sumerians show it here with rings binding it, and the disc that flies above it. The Egyptians, the same pillar with rings around it, and souls travel through from the underworld. So this was my experience of interacting with this pillar of light and learning great hidden truths that can save humanity. And then I found in North America, the Davenport Stella showed exactly what I experienced. Then in my research, I found that an alien abductee by the name of Betty Anderson, now Betty Luca, had the exact same experience that I had. Betty Luca saw a red pyramid with an Egyptian face on top of it. It is Serket, right next to the pillar of golden light, and she walked along a glass walkway. All of this is in existence, and I've seen it, and that's why I've written about it in my books as the place of creation, that which creates all time, space, matter, and life. And the Duat, the great pyramid alignment shaft, goes right to the center of our axis. That takes you to that Eden, the place of creation, where all souls go when they pass and reborn. A soul would pass along that purple line of force field from the earth, through the sun, through stars, and through to that shaft of energy that comes out the center of a galaxy. The Big Bang, I believe, is a recurring cycle. We have this radiation. Big Bang, two directions of energy, one for matter and one for antimatter. The two can't be together, so they separate into two separate universes. And galaxies have these axis light pillars that come out of each axis. And I think our first explorers found it, but they were surprised when they got there because it interacted with them. A stream of plasma came off. Watch it very closely as it becomes that which we know as the legend of the dragon. Its form that it takes is the dragon. And then it was told to build a place of protection around this cosmic tree of life, to bind that light force to a very tight area and build a city of light around it, Mount Meru, a beautiful paradisal area for people to learn and visit about the tree of life. If it was separate to that pillar and not actually built on that pillar, it would be next to it and work as such. The cosmic serpent, the cosmic dragon, and the cosmic lion are all this cosmic portal plasma of creation. Look at the close detail from this Mayan vase. Plasma bursts all over the show, but look what the entity is holding. The mystery of the bag. That stone bag is made of a chemical makeup that the tree of life will know where he came from. The Maya had it, so this is a Mayan vase. It's showing how it works. Press pause and come back later to see more detail. The Sumerians show the binding of this pillar with rings and the cosmic tree of life, and they nurture it with the bags and the dragon eggs. The dragon egg would be that which takes you there. That was the fleur-de-lis, the caduceus, ancient Hindu mythology. They're all representing this tree of life, place of creation, good and evil, trying to manipulate it. In Borneo, the same thing. The Elohim, people from the heavens. It's two syllables in Hebrew mean people from the heavens. Adam means human, Eve to give life, Cain to give birth. So what it's really saying is human life cycle begins on earth with their children from the Atlantis colonization event. That is the true decoding of it. Now all common ground found in the earliest ancient records of all holy books I have combined. Common ground found in forgotten ancient religions and records of ancient paranormal events I've combined. All the sciences including evolution of the species, the study of modern paranormal encounters with beings and flying objects. Combine all of those. I am the witness. Humanity likely descendant of beings that came from the stars, that discovery. And unlike religions, this belief system will be constantly updated and even altered with time. No one will ever be forced to follow this. This is what oneism.org stands for, and how I've combined everything. Discovering the good and evil, 12 words that define it, and then of course the gathering of the flame keepers. That's happening right now. Worship. In place of worship, consider love and honor. That is a far stronger spiritual connection to the cosmic tree. You've got to consider that as well. So that is what makes oneism.org. And then, of course, we're counting down to first contact with the star visitors. That is my book, The Alpha Omega, and I've got videos on it you'll see here in the description. But the important thing to understand right now is this cosmic dragon serpent plasma ribbon, the hand of God, literally becomes tainted, and how that happens. Press pause, come back later, and you'll see the detail. The visitor is going to return on the 2027 with the dragon, and he'll show his star map behind him there with the Pleiades in his one hand, and then of course the dragon will appear next to him. How it makes a cosmic wormhole, and how it's all going to be a teaching of humanity to understand the hidden records, teaching that the 7 plasma ribbons connect to the 7 Pleiades. That is one teaching mechanism part that has been misinterpreted in the past. It had 10 horns. It also had 10 crowns, diadems. These are the stargates to 10 planets, 10 exoplanets of our ancient ancestors. Those teachings are all going to come very clear, and I've made it very specific. The Alpha is Taurus, the Omega is the Stargate. So he's saying he's from the Taurus Stargate, and his identification. Then he delivers the message nobody wants to hear, and it is a double-edged sword. You must stop destroying the earth and each other. Isn't that going to be the obvious message? I've shown on all the ancient star maps, all these ancient records, who they are. The identity is important, that they are descendants of the same people we are, and this needs to be protected. The Armageddon reality, the final battle of good versus evil. We need to really understand what is good and what is evil. And I have 12 traits of good versus evil here that you can press pause and study them. Logic and reasoning should tell you that a human with those blue traits will be pure, like the Christ story person fits. And somebody totally destructive has the opposites of those words, as you see in the right hand one. Have some time to spend reasoning how you can measure good and evil. The Armageddon reality, the final battle of good versus evil. The fact is both attack civilians, and both are not good. 99% of the world are good, and I'll show you how I reason that. You can come back and pause and read it. There's a lot of detail. But 1% of the world are left that seem to be the manipulators that are very powerful. In our world of chaos, never forget the logic. Just follow the money. I have a link below to show Gaza has found to have one of the most valuable resources, just like Aleppo had. You can decide what's the reality there. But anyway, let's look at the extended timeline now. If we take another 7 years time that the timeline shows in Revelations, it shows how it all ends with this wormwood impact. This is what I'm trying to prevent. Right, let's look at the map of heaven now. Those 4 icons and those stars. This is a very important part if it is true. The cross I propose is made with Orion all the way through to the star of our origins as its iconic origins. Right, and of course we have a lot of references in my big 2-hour+ documentary showing how these cosmic stars, like Constantine said, it was what he saw in the sky that angels taught him about this origin. Right, the next icon, the Om symbol. There's the bull of Taurus. There is the X that marks the spot, crescent behind its back. I will add a little bit more detail here to show you how the horns and the arms seem to fit. Martin Molnagov from Hungary discovered that. I realized the swastika is also Orion. Yes, the swastika has that amazing shape. And of course, in Hindu tradition, this is very, very important, how that origins situation fits. So that's the Om. The X that marks the spot, the crescent of Islam, they adapted it from their Sumerian ancestors. That is the X that marks the spot. And I'll show on a tablet there, you can see it's quite obvious. But now the menorah and the Star of David, 7 sacred lights, the candles of the 7 lights. Pleiades, I'm sure. Is this just a coincidence? The big 4 religions all share one part of one secret. That is the question. Is this a coincidence? You can decide. But there's a 5th element here. The biggest religion of all in the world is the Far East dragon traditions. and how they connect to the tree of life, the spiritual side. All those 4 icons seem to be our bloodline origin side, but there's a way that the dragon connects all together. Okay, so going back to that alien message, I said I got it from a computer punch tape code. Let's see exactly how that turned out. This is the actual decoding cipher using a grid pattern on a punch card tape that the old first computers printed out. You can see the numbers and the letters, and the 2 of importance on in bright yellow here for 2027. That's how I decoded that number. You can go back and look at that pattern. You'll see how the fields split up to make that number pattern. As you see here, you see this number 2027 as the time, answering the question, when will we see whoever made this ancient star map depiction with the time sequence? And of course, I've always been saying it's V-shaped craft. Did you know that it's also in this decoded piece of paper? Look very closely. One of the columns has the V-shaped pattern part of it. But there's more. Look closely. The German word for carriage, return. Carriage is also a chariot. Chariots of the gods returning. Is that a coincidence? Did they choose it accordingly for that as well? So we would know what craft comes is tied to their human lineage ancestry. That's all going to be tested and measured. The Phoenix Lights showed a mile-wide craft looking just like this. It's absolutely impossible to fly aerodynamically. It's so big, it moves slowly, it makes no sound. And would you believe the powers that be have created a video with a big corporation saying they're building one. So when we see it, you're going to see news agencies saying, that's one of ours. Look at the link in the description. You won't believe it. They claim to be building one. Really. First contact, also seen on a Sumerian stone tablet I covered in part 1, that it's this man with his right hand with 7 stars. It happened again in ancient past. Look at the man stepping off the bull, the foot stepping off the bull of Taurus, the Aleph. There he is. And of course the wing just flying behind him there. That's how they move around in the sky. I also want to remind people in Exodus, they followed a pillar of cloud in the day, and at night a pillar of fire to see the way. Was it one of these that hovered above the roofless tent and something came down that took in supplies? You go figure. I think it also split the ocean by the downward pressure. The way they made this alien message in Danana, by the way, is downforce pressure that indented the land permanently. Use that energy against the part of the Red Sea. Quite likely they could hold back the sea. Just a theory. The condition at The Hague was that there would be all the hostages returned. Was impossible. Here's Gaza in Israel, and we have 200 abductees that are taken from Israel. Where did they take them? Into Gaza, into the tunnel system, and into the buildings of Gaza. Now here is how the IDF responded. They took care of what was going on. The expected rescue plan was to use undercover operatives to go in and find the hostages. Plan B, the unthinkable. They chose Plan B. This is absolutely insane. How did they help? Boom. How many survivors are there of the hostages, number one? Even if, let's say, a quarter are lost, that's still not returning all the hostages. There's no ways all the hostages are going to be returned. So this is why the families are holding the rallies to go against the Israeli government. They are absolutely clear of what's happening, and they want a new government. They are so upset with the way things have turned out. Now, how does it become Armageddon? This is a picture of the Megiddo Valley area that I think is going to be occurring pretty close when all the refugees need to go somewhere. All their buildings are destroyed, their land's destroyed, they've got nowhere to go other than a nearby country. I want to see what their options are. This is probably how it will turn out, because this scenario, I believe, is going to unfold as Armageddon, where they're going to be attacked
Looking at the map now, you can see Gaza and West Bank positioning. Jordan and Lebanon are the two countries that are probably going to offer support to refugees. And this is the pathway they'd probably go through the West Bank. There's Megiddo position. Do they go first trying to get to Lebanon, so they head north, and then something goes wrong with the attack, because this is where the attack begins, and then they probably try and get to Jordan as well. So there are probably two options for them. But it's Gaza going north. That's basically the Armageddon story. Are those sort of probabilities about to happen? Never in the past has it ever been so close to something happening in Megiddo other than now. And of course, Gaza has had the rights to the offshore gas reserves, which are worth trillions. You'll see a link in the my description. Not just that, there's a chance that there is a new canal, and Gaza is in the way of it. And I'm looking at this image here. It looks like they've already carved what they call a pathway through Gaza. It's supposed to be a highway. I don't think so. I think they're already starting to build a canal. That's just my opinion. It's also worth trillions. Israel stands to gain everything, not just world dominion, but controlling all shipping through the area, and a superpower.
Here's an interesting graphic of statistics of the Jewish nations that define support of Israel. First USA, then all the others. Go back and have a look at that. But the New World Order could be the United Nations with Israel against all other countries. Press pause and have a look just now. You might have seen our videos on the Armageddon prophecies. Part 2 has already gone out. Refer back to this. I think it's in the description at the end of the video. I might have a link to it. There's developments that are happening in Gaza right now, and there's one thing that explains what's going on in Gaza. One word: Deuteronomy, an ancient Torah text that became part of the Old Testament. Read through that and you will be amazed as to how it explains everything that's going on in Gaza. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and camera crews are being chased out of Gaza. Now we're getting down to a point we should have had the date of Armageddon on the 19th of February. I'll show you in this video quickly what it's referring to, but it's in the Armageddon videos. Basically, the time of the 19th of February was supposed to be the beginning of Armageddon. But prophecy can be used to guide not just good, but those that are trying to enslave us. They have done everything possible to keep all the people of the Palestinian regions in the south, because they know if they go north, they're going past this place called Megiddo. And this is where terrible things supposedly happened that were in the future, that are now basically our current timeline. And they're trying to avoid it to look like Armageddon. So it doesn't mean that the terrible things are not going to happen. It just means that it's going to be hidden, and no news agencies are going to be allowed to be anywhere near what's going on.
I wonder who's attacking my work. You'll see in the links, I've got 2 links of people who I believe are attacking my work and attempting to rewrite it, steal the copyright, while twisting interpretations. That is my biggest problem at the moment. And I'm calling on people to help me join my movement to try and beat this. I need to be a bit better financially, obviously, to fight back. Abu Sur, the pyramids of Egypt. That is one of the biggest star maps. The Giza pyramids, as Orion, show the way to that sun temple. There's the star map, Pleiades, the sun, and of course Roman Jerusalem, Athens, Mecca, Budapest. They're all built on 7 hills. They chose a position of 7 hills to represent the Pleiades. So this star map thing goes very, very deep in my 2-hour documentary showing as above, so below, the womb of Nut, Pleiades. 3 suns make the down-pointing triangle, and the up-pointing triangle of the temple. The 2 merge. You know what kind of 6-pointed star that makes, and how it is being now the cause of wars, arguing what it means. That's quite sad, and it's for everybody. The Holy Grail, same rituals, same thing, birthing the host. 3 suns make the shape of the womb, this holy chalice, and the stem. The male anatomy, as you can see, has Orion's belt, as Geb, birthing the sun disk. this should be celebrating our great origins. So too does this particular symbol. I won't even talk about it because it's sensitive. The 7 sacred lights. Okay, so very similar. Take it with a pinch of salt. But the Key of Solomon, I've got in my main video how the Key of Solomon is a star map. You can see Orion there in the 10 o'clock position, and the star with a beam of light from it, and the ecliptic suns on each side of it. I decode the whole thing. And the problem is, of course, it's a Hebrew story explaining why Jerusalem was built in the leg of the bull, representing the Pleiades, and the hill of Caiaphas was the exarch, the spot, the place where the Christ was judged, by the way. People are now thinking it's all conspiracy and chaos. We need to try and get more following. Look at what's happening right now. The April ritual being planned before the rebuilding of the temple. The sacrifice of a red bovine. See the link in the description. Because if that temple that is standing there now is destroyed, that is the beginning of World War III. The Islamic world will not just stand by and watch. I've found this ancient record makes one thing very, very clear. There were wheels within wheels, both. Okay, so we have multiple wheels, both on their sides. 2 wheels, both on their sides, with a firmament dome above each one. You'll see it in the image that I'm showing now. That is an important part that verifies these ancient records all tie in with visitors that came from above, our ancient ancestors. They're coming back to help humanity if we listen to what they have to say.
With the earlier Sumerian clay tablets' precise version of the cosmic human origin star map, and how it matched the template at Stonehenge, would come the mindset that had Herschel set out to search the Atlantic Ocean seabed. It would be this clue that would culminate in this documentary's biggest revelation.
As the world was counting down to 2012, I was watching Google Earth, looking for ruins, refreshed my page, and I saw that. I recognized that curvature from somewhere. This could be a computer code. I think it's first contact. The ancients are returning. I've published a book, Herschel's Atlantis, and there's a 2-hour documentary you'll see at the end of the video. These are my 3 books. I'm trying to promote Saving Forests, $19 for all 3, 1 delivery. Please consider becoming a flame keeper in the here and now, or when you are gone, or as an activist. Please press pause and come back to this and you'll see the detail. But as a flame keeper, you become part of the quest to secure the interpretational copyright and visibility of the hidden records. That is the difference.